Welcome one and welcome all. It is time for Three Guys Before the Game. This is episode number 671. The title, Cougars Claude, Hodge Hoops Tips. A lot of stuff going on.
Busy week.
Oh, by the way, Kellogg also tips off WVU's women's basketball team. They put the ball in the air Monday, which is tomorrow as we record, and Mark Kellogg will begin his third season as WVU's women's coach. We'll get into all of this stuff and more. Textual Healing, spreads on stats. That's all coming your way. Did you get a final on that football game?
It's nice.
That was really nice. That was really nice. I mean, I don't want to say as first reported here on Three Guys, but we will go to spreads on stats and look back at what the Senators said were the keys to the game and some potentially sneaky numbers that could help West Virginia. We'll get into that. First, let's get into this. Three Guys brought to us by Gomart. Get yourself a Gomart rewards card. Go to gomart.com for details. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales. They sell family fun. They do. They're located in St. Albans, award-winning. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit. How do you spell yum? By Comax Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. By Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. And by Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers. All right, let's jump in. The losing streak is over for the Mountaineers. Bunch of firsts happened Saturday afternoon in Houston. Let's see. Rich Rodriguez got his first Big 12 Conference victory. Rich Rodriguez got his first Big 12 Conference road victory. Scotty Fox got his first victory as a starting quarterback and a bunch of other things. 45-35, the final score. West Virginia went in as a double-digit underdog. Houston went in as number 22 in the nation. Cougars had just won at Arizona State. And you walked into this one and you said, this is going to be difficult. Mountaineers dealing with yet more injuries, and nevertheless, they started strong, they finished strong, and they put together a template of what a Rich Rodriguez offensive performance looks like. Why did it happen? Oh, by the way, sorry about this. I failed to bring this up. The third guy's not here. I didn't bring it up. It was kind of he's
parts unknown.
He's in absentia. He's currently on assignment for Three Guys, and he'll be back within the next 9 or 10 months. I would think he'll be back.
Maybe.
Hopefully,
there's a
next
hopefully soon.
9 or 10 months. All right. So 45-35, pretty wild. West Virginia goes in situationally. It was kind of interesting. You could have made a case for Houston, saying they were coming back home, floating on air after a huge win, playing a team that they were favored to beat by double digits, playing in honor of their strength coach, Kurt Hester, who passed away last week, dedicating the game to him. So situationally, a lot of things there. On the other side, for West Virginia, let's be honest, you had to search to try to find some real things to make this team go out there and play well, right? You hadn't won a league game. You battled, but you didn't beat TCU at home. What are you supposed to do when you go on the road against Houston? Surprise team of the Big 12, right? Won 4 games last year, 7-1 overall going into yesterday's game, and yet they found a way to win. Why?
Well, I think flip the situation. I'll read directly from what we said Thursday.
No, not what we said. What you said. Go ahead. Pat yourself on the back. Go ahead.
Houston, off its biggest win under Willie Fritz on the road last week at Arizona State. I mean, that right there, full stop, that's definition of a letdown spot. One of the hardest things, if not the hardest thing in college sports is what? Consistency, right? Especially for teams where there's there's some balance within it. This isn't a Houston team, and quite frankly, really nobody within the Big 12 is so far ahead of the other teams physically or athletically that you just can walk through each week. So number one, the letdown spot was real. Off their biggest win over Arizona State, had to return home and try and gather. Number two, we said, playing in their 6th straight game. Would that be a factor? I don't know if it was or wasn't, but that's a lot of games right in a row. Number three, early kickoff. That was a factor, I think. I thought Houston came out sluggish and slow. And what was the crowd like? You looked at it. What was the crowd? Non-existent. Non-existent, right? So that was that. And then the last thing we said, Houston was 7-1, and they've had an unbelievable season. And I think Willie Fritz is a terrific coach, and that's documented how he's won everywhere he's been. Year 2's always a good year for him. We talked about that. But that team probably shouldn't have been 7-1. We literally said the words, are they due for some regression here? That was a team that if you looked at the schedule strength, you looked at some underlying numbers, you could build the case that some regression was coming for Houston. So I thought situationally, West Virginia was actually in a pretty good spot. West Virginia was off one of its better performances of the year. Certainly it was in a loss, I get it, but West Virginia had shown a little life. They'd found a little something with Scotty Fox in that offense, and that carried over into that Houston game. And to your point about starting quickly, I thought it was evident right from play number one, Tony, that offensive line for West Virginia got push, and it got push right away, and it was physical, and it was attacking the defensive line. And I thought that bode well for the rest of the game, that West Virginia started so quickly, then had that early success. Now, West Virginia had to hold on there. It had to battle through some adversity because Houston got it together a little bit. They started doing some things well that's led to their 7-1 record, got back in it, but West Virginia stepped up and made some big plays. But overall, the situation was good. The start was really good, and I think that gave you the momentum to carry it through.
Yeah. The offensive line push was the single biggest differentiator in the game than any other thing that West Virginia has done all season. And I give a ton of credit to everyone involved in the program because these are the moments, right, in the month of November when things aren't going well that you just kind of drop off. Give a ton of credit to this coaching staff. They are unrelenting in their demands. And if you listen to post-game interviews yesterday from Dior Hubbard and others, they just said, like, the coaches would not stop this week about being physical. And not only was the offensive line physical, those jet sweeps that West Virginia ran with great success, incredibly well blocked on the perimeter.
And that was early.
Yes.
The perimeter had some really good blocks early, and if you're looking at that, you went, okay, those guys are engaged. That's going to bode well, too. You're right.
Yeah, so a ton of credit to the staff and then for the players to accept what they were being asked to do. I mean, let's face it, the seminal moment of the game, and perhaps it'll become a seminal moment in this transition as West Virginia looks to turn this and really put this new Rich Rodriguez team together, was a penalty. It was Donovan Haslam assisting Dior Hubbard down the field, right? So
real quick, you can assist from behind,
correct,
but you can't carry.
No. Can't pick him up and walk him.
That's a heck of a nuanced rule.
Yes, it is.
That was a nice play by Donna. He just picked him up and lugged him forward.
So that in itself, as cute and as funny as it is, right? You got this massive guy picking up. As funny as that is, like, that is what has to happen. That is what needed to happen for West Virginia to gain a personality on that offensive line. To this point, it has been faceless. It needs to have the next generation of Dan Moses. It needs to have the next generation of Ryan Stanchek. Nasty, mean, pound you into the field. Haslam is that guy. Haslam is that guy that now you can look at and go like, he's just a big dude. And technically, he's got a lot of room for improvement, but just his massive girth, he just like bowls over people. It might not be the right guy to block, but he's going to hit somebody, and this is going to give this line. And also, Nick Cray, I don't know if did you PFF him on his grade?
We'll get to him.
Yeah. Like, we called Nick Cray's name constantly through the game. They're pulling him, and like you're finally starting to get some teeth into this offensive line. So really, really encouraged by all of that. And then Zach Alley, Jordan Scruggs had the interception. Scruggs says after the game, Coach Alley checked into that defense because he saw their formation. He said, we worked on the formation, so I knew what was coming. They try to throw it to Amari Thomas. He jumps it. Psst, massive.
Also, along with credit for the staff for singing, you got to give a ton of credit to players. This is a team filled with a lot of guys that are only here for 1 year.
Yeah.
It would be very easy at this point to check out, to lay down, to worry about what's next. And the fact that they stayed engaged and played better against TCU and then bounced back here, I give a heck of a lot of credit. I've been on losing teams before. It is hard to stay in there. It is hard to stay in with your focus when you're getting beat each week, and this team is not. So that locker room deciding it's got to stay in there and it's got to get better. And oh, by the way, hashtag you're allowed to get better.
Yes.
Hashtag you're allowed to get better. And I think we're seeing that. This team is playing better now and starting to put some pieces together.
And some of the young guys are doing it, right? So Cray is still a young guy. Landon Livingston at center is a young guy. Haslam has eligibility that is remaining. Scotty Fox, obviously.
Is your quarterback a young guy?
He's a baby.
Huh?
Think about that now. True freshman, as we said when he started a couple of weeks ago for the first time. First starting QB at West Virginia as a true freshman since Freddie Wyan in the 1950s. Think about the significance. To say that he was able to get better, to bounce back after the 2 picks that he threw against Pitt, sometimes that leaves a scar, and just little by little they kept bringing him along, and now he's put 8 quarters together of big boy football, and now he probably goes back out there Saturday against Colorado and feels totally different mentally than he had in the previous appearances.
I would agree. Quarterback what? Fourth starting quarterback, only FBS team to do that. Most in the FBS, 4 different starters. Dior Hubbard wasn't even a thought in the first game of the season.
Didn't travel.
Correct. Now busts out 100 yards rushing. Again, a lot of credit to the line for that. But credit Dior Hubbard, so you're down to running back 4 or whatever that is, 4 or 5, and he's coming in producing. So a lot of credit all the way around for these guys to hang in there on the back third of the season to be producing when it's been such a struggle up to this point.
Saturday, West Virginia will play its second to last game at home. They've got Colorado and Texas Tech left, and then in between that, a trip to Arizona State. See what Arizona State's doing?
Mm-hmm.
Giving them
that was
a week
impressive
off.
They almost have to. No Levitt in that game yesterday, and you beat Iowa State. Yeah. That's an impressive win for them.
How about that, dude? Jeff Sims, their quarterback, who has played a lot of years, like 6, has been around, He's been around. He goes for 200+ on the ground. Adds a whole dimension. And Arizona State, afterward, they said, guess what, man? We're off this week. We're taking off this week.
Yeah,
we're not
see that often.
We're off this week. Go away. So they will be incredibly well rested for the Mountaineers when West Virginia goes out there. And it's all right. Now you're playing. You just
whatever. Now you just play.
Yeah.
And if you're West Virginia, as you said, not only with Fox, that team has a little confidence, right? You go into practice this week. All right, maybe listen a little bit more. You're engaged a little bit because you got a chance now. You're playing well.
And again, not to make this that they just won the world championship, but you beat a ranked team on the road.
Yeah.
This wasn't just, hey, we got a road win against a team that was out there struggling. They were 7-1.
Mm-hmm.
However they got there, they were 7-1.
In contention for a Big 12 title game appearance.
Correct.
I mean, that team had a lot to play for.
Absolutely, and you got it done. So we'll get into that and more. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. In life, we all need a guide. We need a partner at times dealing with various issues. Well, if you're in the market for military benefits or Social Security claims, by all means, these are the folks to call. Jan Dills, attorneys at law. We were just down there in Texas. Now, they've got clients in Texas because they've got clients in all 50 states. So wherever you are, if you have a need and help when it comes to filing claims for Social Security benefits or military benefits, by all means, contact the folks at Jan Dills, attorneys at law. That's Jan Dills, attorneys at law. Nice thing about them, like Brad, they won't take no for an answer. 3 Guys also brought to us by, we had a funny situation last week. Brad and I were upstairs here at the building, and a guy walked in carrying a big case of plastic bottles of water. And I looked at him, and he looked at me and said, that is so old school. Comax Business Systems has something for you if you need to hydrate your employees or anyone that might be in the working space. Forget about those big plastic jugs. You know the sound they make, glug, 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 glug. You don't need that. Get yourself a water machine, the I-12 water machine, hot and cold water. Visit Comax Business Systems. It's just one of their many pieces of business office gear. ComaxWV.com. That's ComaxWV.com. Well, because he's not here, we can't do obvious observations, although I am incredibly tempted to play the song just because I like the way it sounds. But in absentia, I will not do it. Let's jump in. Spreads on Stats. It's brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. It's brought to us by the Conley CPA Group. Here we go.
Check the numbers. We'll just go right to the numbers. Here comes a heater.
Let's jump into the analytics portion of the show.
Ready?
Three guys before the game, Conley CPA Group. What do? They provide value beyond numbers. They're a full-service accounting firm that will, kind of like Jan Dills, they're guides. They walk you through any questions that you may have. What's the best way to do this? What's the best way to do that for your business so you're not out there? Probably the biggest thing that bums you out is when you're paying money you don't need to pay, right? Like if there's ways to save it on your side rather than just extending it and giving it away, that's what they do. They also can handle your accounting. They can do that remotely. It's kind of nice, I think. And provide CFO services. You need a CFO? They can do that remotely as well. So check them out. It is Conley CPA Group. Good people. Did you have any like wows when you started to look into the numbers?
Well, I just thought this was one of those games where nearly everything we talked about Thursday in terms of keys came to fruition. And oh, by the way, when that happens, that leads you to some wins. So let's dive right into these. One of the things we talked about Thursday, we'll start where we always do. Review what we said Thursday, what hit, what didn't. We said Houston came in with some outstanding defensive metrics. This had been a team that had been performing exceptionally well on that side of the ball. But, big but, the one that gave you hope from a Mountaineer perspective was that their defensive success rate versus the run wasn't as gaudy as some other numbers. They were just 92nd nationally in that category. So we thought West Virginia might be able to run it well in this game. And what did we just say a little bit ago? You started early with that. You saw the push up front from the offensive line. You saw the really, really good perimeter blocks. Led to 246 yards on the ground, 5 yards per carry. But here's the number that directly ties to what we were talking about. West Virginia had a nearly 70% success rate on the ground in the first quarter. That's a remarkable number. 40's the number that's kind of like average. West Virginia was 70% success rate on the ground in the first quarter when that line of scrimmage was kind of established. So right away early, Tony, I think you could say like, okay, there was a number that we talked about that maybe showed there was some cracks in that Houston defense. Boom, came to fruition. We talked about the pass defense numbers for Houston. Same thing. Very good raw numbers. But the one part that wasn't good for Houston, their pass rush grade. Just 12 out of 16 in the Big 12. We thought that might mean Fox would have some time to throw, and that would be good, given his arm strength. You give him a clean pocket and let him go to work, and you saw that. Big play to Weimer was huge with some time. Houston finishes with 0 sacks and only 3 total pressures on the day, so that number came to fruition. Flip over to the defensive side because I thought this was where the numbers from Thursday really told the story. We pointed out on Thursday, Houston was the worst pass blocking grade in the Big 12 and said if West Virginia gets pressure on the quarterback, it generally bodes well for that defense. Again, I know that's a standard rule in football, but West Virginia's defense has really been contingent on its ability to get to the quarterback. I thought that really showed up. West Virginia was good in its pressure game, 4 sacks on the day, and how many of those led to turnovers or near turnovers, which leads us into the next numbers that came to fruition. Houston quarterback Connor Wegman, let's talk about him for a second. Raw stats looked really good. He was having a heck of a year for them. Houston as a team, raw stats looked really good. Hadn't actually turned the ball over too much. But what did we say, Tony? You peel back that onion and you looked at those underlying numbers there.
Turnover-worthy plays.
There were a lot of turnover-worthy plays for Connor Wegman. We said on the show Thursday there should be a pick or two coming in this game. Get a little bit of pressure, and he was liable to throw you a couple. Boy, was there. Jordan Scruggs not only got the one, but he took it to the house for a huge, biggest play of the game, pick six. I'll quantify that coming up here in just a little bit. So he threw two on the day. Derek Carter also had one. And what's interesting, Tony, is it's a Houston offense that had run it 60% of the time coming into the game. They threw it 54% of the time in this game. So West Virginia's run defense was good enough to force them into a different game plan. Ultimately, you take a quarterback who's prone to turnover-worthy plays and force them to do something they hadn't done all year, and it was going to benefit you. It did. The other part of Weigman we mentioned coming into the game, it wasn't just the passing turnover-worthy plays, it was his fumbles. He had fumbled 6 times on the year.
What was up with it?
Well, we talked about that.
But they were the most bizarre.
That
losing
was
the ball.
That was he had done that in those games. He hadn't lost them all. They hadn't turned into actual turnovers. That's why you got to look at that second number.
Would you admit that his grip on the ball was bizarrely loose? Had you seen that? I mean, there were times there weren't even people buzzing by him when the ball squirted out. What is up?
Well, that's why we talked about it.
You think he's got small hands?
I don't know that, but he fumbles a lot. And it started right away. If they hadn't called that an incomplete pass, you would have had one right away. That was probably the right call, but man, that was close. Then you very nearly got a pick six on the next play. Then you got him with pressure, and he did cough it up. So he fumbled 3 times on the day. Lost 1, should have lost more. Lost 2, whatever he lost. Should have lost more. So 4 total turnovers on the day. Should have had more. Should have lost another fumble or 2. Weigman was credited with 4 turnover-worthy plays just on the passing plays. So that was the one, Tony, as we try and find these numbers that may tell the story. That one to me was the biggest one that jumped out, because if you just looked at Houston and Weigman's raw stats, you wouldn't have seen that was coming. But it was lurking right under the surface there that fumbles and picks were available in this game, and you got them. I thought that was massive.
No, exactly right. It decided the game, right?
17 points off those 4 turnovers.
Yeah.
You didn't give any back. Ball game.
Yeah, exactly.
Ball game.
Right.
That was massive. So, yeah, that was the game. Lastly, we talked about field position. Houston came in really good in this category too. 15th nationally in starting field position. Given that West Virginia was near the bottom of the country in that category, we said if those numbers held, West Virginia was at a distinct disadvantage, not just because of those numbers, but because it led to an entirely one additional drive per game with scoring opportunity for Houston. That didn't come to fruition. Those numbers did not hold. West Virginia hung right in there. Houston had the field position advantage, but it was only 1 yard. West Virginia ended the game with an average starting field position on its own 36-yard line, much better than its average, up 10-plus yards from where it normally starts. So that one came out in West Virginia's favor as well. Some other numbers that jumped out to me on the day. West Virginia had a positive EPA on both run and pass plays. First time all season that's happened. And again, that number backs up what you saw in the field. West Virginia had success throwing it. They were certainly running it really well. Had more explosive plays than Houston did. And 6 of those explosives came on the ground. Also impressive, as we've said many times, if a Rich Rodriguez team is going to run it on you and run it for explosive plays, you're probably in some trouble. You mix in Scotty Fox, who can really throw it, hence the 45 points follow. 4 for 4 on 4th down. West Virginia was. So not great on 3rd, but you really converted on 4th, including that big pass to Weimer. Get back to that in a minute. Defensively, West Virginia created twice as many havoc plays than Houston. Remember, havoc can be TFLs, sacks, turnovers, pass breakups. Should have had more, save for the officiating. Get into that maybe here in a minute.
Yeah, I might bring that up.
Win probability added. Let's look at these plays that were game-changing. What plays in this game added the most win probability to West Virginia's numbers? First and foremost, the Scruggs pick 6 added a 37% win probability to West Virginia's game. You get those pick 6, man, game changers.
It was 24-21, am I correct? When he threw that pick, they were going in, they would have taken the lead with points there. I'll check it.
Fox's 4th down touchdown run added 21% to the win probability. Carter's interception of Weigman added another 12.7 win probability. And then finally, the 4th down pass from Fox to Weimer for 53 yards at an 11% win probability. So some massive big plays. I mean, look at those 4 big plays right there. 2 of them offensively, both on 4th down, 2 of them defensively in terms of turnovers and interceptions. Just massive swings in the games right there.
It was 24-21. West Virginia had hit a 50-yard field goal, so they get the ball, and they're deep inside West Virginia territory. It's a 14-point swing.
Yeah, hence the almost 40% change in win probability. All right, let's look at some PFF grades real quick. Back-to-back weeks now with the best offensive grades of the season versus an FBS team. You had your best run grade of the season. You had your second best defensive grade against an FBS team. You had your second best run defensive grade versus an FBS team, and 2 of your 3 best this season have come in the last 2 games. We mentioned Houston ran it for just 2.6 yards per carry, and your run defense forced them into doing something that they hadn't done all year. Threw it a lot more than they normally had on the year. Ultimately, that led to 2 interceptions and the mistakes that got you the win. That was the best pass rush grade since Pitt. So again, it showed that they didn't have a great offensive line in terms of pass protection. West Virginia exploited that. Let's go into some individual numbers. Offensively, no surprise, your highest graded offensive player was Dior Hubbard. He goes for a career-high 108 yards on the ground and ran for 7 first downs himself. Ryan Ward and Jacob Barrick, 19 and 36 snaps, so not the full 68, 70 snaps. They were 2 and 3 in that game. So Barrick continues to be up there when it comes to run blocking in particular. Scotty Fox, highly graded as well, right up near the top of the charts. You mentioned some of the offensive linemen. Livingston and Haslam in particular both put up pass blocking grades in the 80s. So 65 is really good. If you can get 65 grades, you're doing pretty well. 80s for both of those guys in the pass blocking area.
Livingston had a great block on the Scotty Fox touchdown run on 4th down and 4. Got second level and smashed his guy out. Boom, opened up the door.
Sorry, I was checking something else there. Let's go to defense for a second. No surprise, Scruggs leads the way with the best overall defensive grade. It was a 90 in the 90s. Devin Grant and Asani Redwood, 2 and 3. Grant back-to-back weeks has had really good games. Redwood in there as well. Say hello to Jamori Robinson. Haven't called his name much.
He joined the squad this week.
He did join the squad. Led the team with 3 quarterback pressures, had that sack. And how about one, Fred Perry? Fred Perry, you called his name a bunch.
Frederick, yeah.
You called him a bunch. Team high 11 tackles, added 3 assists. He had a team high 6 stops. That's that PFF stat that constitutes, its definition is a play that constitutes a failure for the offense. Perry was 6 of those by himself.
On the sack that he had, did you think they might have called hands to the head there? I got a little nervous there. He came flying in. I went, oh, don't do that. But, yeah, that worked out well.
Really good.
Here's some other numbers.
Those are the bulk. Real quick, you mentioned Nick Cray's blocking numbers. He was really good against the pass in particular as well. 71 grade.
So West Virginia.
Didn't allow pressure.
Yeah. West Virginia ends the game attempting 22 passes. Rich, we talked Friday afternoon when we got there, and he thought they would definitely have to pass it 30 or more times. And had they thrown it 30 or more times, it would be the first time that a Rich Rodriguez offense passed it 30 or more times in back-to-back games since 2016. So you understand, and so he probably had to be the most surprised guy that he didn't have to. Why didn't he have to? Obviously, they were running the ball. Each team had 13 drives.
Now, you should have just told Rich that their success rate against the run wasn't very good.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I think he wanted to wait and see. West Virginia had 13 drives. 4 of those were 70 or more yards in length. They had 2 drives of 10 or more plays. They had a drive success rate of 76% and TD rate of 38%. Both teams had a TD rate of 38%. West Virginia had 4 3-and-outs. Houston had 1 3-and-out. Just efficient. It's complementary football, right? Your defense, your special teams, right? That was important at the end on the ball that hit the up man's leg on you, so you made a special teams check mark there.
Well, so you had 2, really. I mean, you not only got the turnover off special teams, which is a double bonus, but you had the 50-yard field goal you mentioned earlier.
And we just kind of take that and pass
that's
it.
Huge.
Yeah. Absolutely right. Ollie Straw averaged 46 on 6 punts with a long of 55. 2 of his punts were 50 or more.
And he had the one where he had to go out of the back of the end zone with a shorter drop than normal.
Yes.
Those make you nervous.
I didn't see his dad.
Oh, you didn't see Anthony?
Didn't see him.
He was there.
He was there. I know. We got in there early. I didn't at the stadium early and didn't see him, but he was there. Probably in Bangkok now.
Yeah, then probably back for Colorado.
Yeah, he's probably staying around for Colorado. Probably staying around. He'll probably be here. I hope he is. We'll talk about that coming up. Meanwhile, basketball games that count begin tomorrow inside Hope Coliseum. West Virginia's women's team will take Indiana Fort Wayne, correct? Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne?
Indiana Purdue Fort Wayne, IPFW.
IPFW. Mark Kellogg tips off season number 3, and the WVU women again picked for a fine finish within the Big 12 Conference. So that game is inside the Hope Coliseum. Ball goes in the air at 7. Then they'll play again on Friday inside Hope Coliseum. Meanwhile, Ross Hodge will coach his very first regular season game Tuesday evening at the Coliseum against the visiting Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers from Emmitsburg, Maryland. A year ago, they won the MAC, not the Mid-American, but the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference, won their tournament, got into the NCAA tournament, and beat American University in the first 4 game. Then, unfortunately, had to meet up against the Blue Devils of Duke, and that's where their season came to an end. But they were a really good team. Not picked great this year. They're like 13, or I think it might be 13 in the Metro. Or the MAC, I should say. So we'll see what they've got. They've obviously got a lot of new personnel.
Lost 3 of their better players off that NCAA tournament team, so they come in a rebuild mode. They'll probably shoot a few more threes against West Virginia than they will in the regular season. That length probably should bother West Virginia. They'll give you some pressure. Do a little man pressure, do a little diamond formation pressure. West Virginia will have to handle that, but it's one of those, if West Virginia handles that pressure, it will get open shots in the lane, and it will spread them out so much, you'll have some open looks from the perimeter as well.
Yeah, they shot a ton of threes in their exhibition game against Hood. Put it up a lot. If I just looked at it this morning, but do I want to say over 40?
Also, yeah, and they also played Richmond and got beat in one of their exhibitions as well.
Yeah. So anyway, it'll be fun inside the Hope Coliseum. Tip-off is 7, and super busy start because you're going to go with the men's team. You're going to go Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday this week. West Virginia with 3 in a row at home. And on Thursday, the Camels from Campbell will come in. And Joe Yesufu, who won some games for the Mountaineers last season, is now an assistant coach at Campbell. So that'll be neat.
It'll be great. Yeah, welcome him back in the Coliseum one year after he was here. I had Joe last year, every bit of at least 4 games you don't win if he hadn't done what he did in those individual games.
Yeah.
Colorado was one at Cincinnati, if you remember, both on Sundays. He was outstanding. So fun to see him come back in with the Camels.
How soon do we see Jackson Fields?
Be a handful of games here.
You think
a handful of games.
By next Sunday? What do you think?
That'd be optimistic, but not out of the realm.
By Pitt?
Probably.
Getting closer.
Right around it.
Yeah. Obviously, West Virginia has to play the first 5 games without St. Bonaventure transfer Chance Moore. Now, it's okay. It's okay to play in the G League and get paid. It's okay. But you certainly couldn't play 5 games for Arkansas 92 years ago.
And just a handful of minutes in those 5 games. It wasn't 5 complete games.
Certainly wouldn't want to do that. So anyway, Chance Moore will have to be a spectator in tomorrow's game and will be ineligible for the first 5 games. But he will be eligible, and Jackson Field should be good to go by the time West Virginia heads down to Charleston, South Carolina for that event. They're going to open it up against Clemson. And Xavier is also there, and Georgia is also there. So that should be good. And obviously we're having that massive 3-guys event in Charleston on the off day, which is Saturday.
Efforting.
Is that – I can say that, right?
Well, I mean, you have said it. I don't know that you can say it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that. Got to also this weekend, I'll tell you here in a second, this weekend for the home game against Colorado. By the way, the weather's going to be decent, right?
I think so.
Yeah, it's supposed to be pretty all right. What's it say?
I haven't looked. 50s?
Saturday, 53 for a high, 45 for a low.
Perfect.
Okay. It's November.
Football weather.
Yeah, it's football weather. So we'll see. They'll change 5 times by the time the game is played. But we do have some information on the food court for this weekend, Friday, Saturday.
By the way, that's a nice shirt you got on, speaking of food court.
Yeah. Rev Kev's Brisket and Barbecue. They will, okay, I'll tell you that in a second. I'll just tell you that now. What the heck? Here's what we're doing this week. Got this high-level information from Homeless Dave. Couple of things. We will not be doing a show at Buffalo Wild Wings this coming week. We did have some folks show up last Thursday before a home game, but we weren't there. This is what we are going to do. We will have one more event with Buffalo Wild Wings before Christmas, and we are efforting on a date now, so maybe package it around basketball. So nothing there at Buffalo Wild, but you can still go. They will be open.
They'll be open. You can go get some wings.
They have chicken there. They got chicken. If you want to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. No official Three Guys food court this weekend, but there will be people there. We're teaming up with the Live Like Brent crew, giving them the space next to Daniel's Menswear for their annual tailgate. The food court area will be open Friday, and the Live Like Brent folks will be out in full force Saturday morning, probably also there for postgame. And all of money raised goes to the WVU Cancer Institute. We encourage you to stop by and visit. Food court will have its normal vibe, music, fire pit, etc. But we have conflicts and won't be as visible. Yeah, we got some stuff going on. We will not be selling Connection 304, but just hang out there. This is the group that we partnered with and went to Stonewall Resort during the summer. Live Like Brent is a fund which honors a former WVU student who died of a blood disease, a blood cancer, and the money will go to that. This is who will be there this week. Rev Kev's Barbecue, he be there. The lemonade stand, Lemon will be there. And Grateful Bread will all be set up. So we encourage you to stop on over. Great people, and you'll like it. On the merchandise front, getting close to our Three Guys Christmas shopping guide.
The holiday shopping season about to begin?
The Elves are positioning in Martinsburg and in Shepherdstown. The first production of our popcorn, Mountaineer Munch, will start and goes in this week with our friends at Mountaineer Popcorn.
Oh, very good.
Mountaineer Munch is
you don't want to miss that.
It's addictive. It's absolutely addictive, so do check that out. Three Guys Before the Game, brought to us by the fine folks at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. How good are they? Well, they win awards like every single year. They've been in business for 40 years, located in St. Albans. As you bring your boat in, if it needs service, these are the folks that do it every single day and have been for literally decades. Or if you want to take advantage, perhaps, of some great season-ending deals, by all means, check them out. You can visit in St. Albans or on the website at LouWendellMarineSales.com. They sell those Avalon pontoons, tri-tunes, made 100% in the United States, G3 John Boats. I just kind of suggest you walk in there or make a call and just say, hey, looking for a little something as the season comes to an end. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. And as you know, we're heading into party season. Things are going to get ramped up. Thanksgiving's coming quickly. People get together. We have our functions. We have get-togethers. If you're looking for someone to cater your next event, whether it be a party or a tailgate, the folks at Tudor's, they got you covered. All you have to do is put in an order, and they will get you set up. Tudor's Biscuit World is so much more than biscuits. They've got a full menu of catered items. Catered items, just call into Tudor's, get on their website, take a look at what you would like, and all you got to do is walk in, pick it up, lay it out, and you are in business. Offering catering at Tudor's Biscuit World. The Textual Healing line was busy.
A lot coming in?
Yeah. A lot of people coming in. Obviously, there was...
Didn't need a lot of healing, though.
Don't need healing. I think we need some... what we're getting is we're getting a lot of chest bumping. little chest pounding stuff. That's fine. It's fine. We've healed, and now we're going to kind of walk it through a little bit. Textual Healing is brought to us by episode800.com. You can contact us whenever you would like with a text, 304-404-4083, 304-404-4083. Love to hear from you. This is a big weekend for the football game with Steve Slayton coming back to Morgantown. He is going to be honored for his upcoming enshrinement into the College Football Hall of Fame, which is just an unbelievable, incredible honor. So Steve Slayton will be back. In fact, saw him yesterday. He lives in Houston. He was in the Director of Athletics' box, which is right next door to us, and he has a great family there. His kids, front row seats. They're watching there and say,
well,
Dad,
good luck charm, Stevie was.
Say, Dad, is this what you used to do? And you say, yeah, that's exactly what I used to do. There is an opportunity if you would like to get something autographed by Steve. He's coming to town, and it's coming up Friday between 4:30 and 6:30 inside Kegler's Clubhouse. Dale Sparks, the eye of the Mountaineers, will be there, and he will be selling photos from the Dale Sparks collection. So all you have to do is make a purchase, and Steve will be there to sign. 4:30 to 6:30 this coming Friday, Steve Slayton on his way into the College Football Hall of Fame. Check it out, 4:30 to 6:30 at Kegler's Clubhouse. Check it out. From the text line, texter writes, Chip in St. Albans, the fox is in the hen house. Coin it now. That's not bad.
Good one.
That's not bad. Josh from outside of Knoxville, formerly Josh from Audra State Park.
Josh move?
He moved.
Change location.
He's in Knoxville now. There with the Volunteers. He writes in, Donovan Haslam now has my favorite Mountaineer penalty of all time. Can someone get him an assisting the runner t-shirt? That is what the official called that, assisting the runner. Texter, hey, fellas, it's Dougie Freshier from Murals Inlet in South Carolina. Yeah, pretty good. Great win. Hopefully a sign of better days ahead. A few questions regarding officiating. How do they assign the crews for each game? Do teams have the opportunity to provide input on who gets assigned to their game? The crew yesterday seemed to get assigned to us on a regular basis, and to be blunt, they are consistently awful. Second, how do teams provide input post-game? So you have no say whatsoever in who gets assigned to your games, and that particular crew, I think that's the second time we've had those guys, and you really don't get any say, and I'll tell you more about that in a second. How do teams provide input post-game? You would take the plays that you have in question, you would put them together, and you would submit them to the supervisor of officials in the conference and say, could you please give us an explanation on this? And there were several penalties, interference calls that obviously have grown. They drew great ire from fans and from members of the coaching staff as well. And I think
I have no earthly idea what pass interference is anymore.
I agree.
It is. You talk about block charge being called inconsistently by people. Pass interference is absolutely a debacle across college football.
No question. 100% agree. I think the buddy back there had a bad day. I would think when he gets his report card.
You think his PFF grade's not good?
I think when he gets his report card, they're going to say, not exactly sure what you do. So that's how they provide their input. And in regard to like getting guys off of a crew, the only way that really truly happens is that you have to get, in my view, you have to get a number of coaches, like you got to get a posse. And in the off season, when you get together for your coaches' meetings, you say, hey, this guy consistently is bad. And we as a group of coaches here all are in agreement that this guy is bad. Don't want him. That would be the way you get rid of guys.
And it's an incredibly difficult job. I get it. Just like basketball officiating with all the contact going, but with all the hand fighting that is allowed, I just don't understand when things get called. I'll give you another one. How can Scotty Fox be picked up in the air, slammed to the turf, and that's not excessive personal foul, but sometimes when you hit the quarterback and it's boom, boom, that is called?
Don't disagree.
Now, okay, I mean, he's outside the pocket. He's become a runner, but you can't pick people up and slam them with no call. Sometimes that's called. Sometimes it's not. The inconsistency, man, make you crazy.
That's the word. It's the inconsistency on the interference calls. Just make it consistent so you look at it and go, yeah, it is, or no, it isn't. Texter, thanks for all you do. Hope to see you in South Carolina, Low Country, in a few weeks. Yeah, we're going to have that big shebang. That thing, that's getting bigger. But I'm telling you, there's going to be a limited number of people that are going to – it's only about 250 that place seats, that seafood place we're going to. It's going to be about – you better get your tickets early on that one.
You can't get them yet, though. Tickets aren't on sale yet.
No, you might not even be able to go. I mean, that tight. Now, I'll bring Brad, but if we're going to bump anyone out, it's going to be Hoppy. Charleston Blair of Memphis, Tennessee writes, I send this before the game has concluded, but I'm excited. This is a Rich Rod offensive football team. Love the Zach Alley defense. Texter, is the defender not allowed an equal shot at the ball? The defensive pass interferences are ridiculous. The one that set up 45-35 was the worst. I thought the official with the better view would overrule that one, but no. Texter walked into Houston and said, thanks for having us. The sound of those sweet words from John Denver never sounded so good. Let's go Mountaineers.
That was a good thanks for having us.
Texter, hey guys, I began crying when I was listening to your story about the homemade device that Joan, your wife, was prevented from purchasing because it reminded me of a time that a Lowe's associate would not scan my items at the register because I had gathered the materials to build a device to chug apple juice, beer bong. I had to walk out in shame as a 21-year-old, of course. Those people at Lowe's are very, very vigilant.
On it.
I mean, heck, they're putting things together there at Lowe's checkout. Wait a second. You can't buy those items together. Build those cannons and things. Texter, as bad as a game Scotty Fox had against Pitt, his midseason turnaround has been amazing as a true freshman. So as the senator would say, you are allowed to improve from game 1 to game 9. Eric in Mineral County.
Allowed to get better, as we often say. And again, I think you always have to remember that. So Scotty Fox, so you're telling me Fox is playing better now that he's got some real game reps and he's got games on top of games and he's gotten better? Imagine that.
He has.
Imagine how that works.
Yeah. You want to think about, put it into perspective. I mean, last November, he's running around there at Mentor High School in Ohio, right? Probably getting ready for the playoffs. And like 1 year later, he's on national TV beating a ranked team on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Pretty impressive.
You know what I say? If you're good when you're young, you're going to be good. And he's showing good. So let's just keep putting it together, and hopefully he can, as they say, stack these performances together. Jesse in, and I love the name of this place, The Woodlands in Texas. Remember, Kirchhoff looked that up, gave us the whole breakdown, much more than I wanted to know. Wow, we looked so bad in starting 0-4 in the league. I was worried Rich would lose the team. Last week we competed against a talented TCU team. Today we knock off 7-1 Houston. Brad is correct. You are allowed to get better. Rich and staff can coach. Thank you for making my Monday so much better. Let's go. Pitt still sucks. Oh, my. Snuck that in there at the end. Jeff and Scott Depot, I believe it's time. Thanks for having us. Mm-hmm. That was a classic thanks for having us, wasn't it?
Yep.
Good to see you.
Those road wins are always good. They're over ranked teams. That's a double good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just got a text while we're recording here from Homeless Dave, so he must have forgot something. What's he got going on?
The show's live, so it works.
I mean, if Dave texts in show, no, it's just.
Wasn't urgent?
Let's see. No, that's from last week.
Wasn't about our thing in South Carolina coming up? Or Mountaineer Munch popcorn that goes on sale soon?
Or the event in Charleston, West Virginia the night before the Wake Forest game.
Got to talk about that, too.
That's going to be a special.
Was it about game day grind over there at Rusty's?
No.
Mountaineer roasting?
No, we're going to have a special night in Charleston. The Charlestons are going to get hit big. We're going to do a big event in South Carolina,
Heavy.
Charleston.
Heavy.
We're going Charlie South and Charlie West.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have a big story. Don't want to get ahead of my skis here.
Well, you're about to. I was just going to say, you don't know details on that yet. Efforting.
Don't want to get ahead of my skis here on the Charleston, West Virginia event. Got a chance to be really special. I'll just leave it at that. What are you laughing about?
That's fine.
I don't understand why you're laughing.
I mean, it does have a chance to be really fun. Now just move on.
There's one guest.
Leave it. See, just leave it until it's done. It's not done.
There's one guest that might be there that would be a game changer. That would be great. He says he wants to come. So if he's there, it's going to be real nice, Clark. Hey, guess what? Gomart, Marty is back. You ready for this thing?
Yeah, probably something holiday related, right?
This is what you need to do. Marty's Merry Spin is underway. The Gomart people, they're going like, hey, yeah, Thanksgiving's coming. We're going into Christmas. Here's what you need to do. Get your Gomart app. Go to a Gomart. You walk in and you scan the in-store QR code and you get to spin. You with me? You can do this now through December the 19th. So you spin and you get sweet treats, awesome prizes, or bonus rewards points. No matter what, it's guaranteed to add some fun and build up your point total. Marty's Merry Spin is underway now, all the way to December the 19th. Check it out by visiting a Gomart near you.
Here's the other thing. If you go on the app, there's an instructional video there for that game, so you don't have to try and guess how to play it. Just click. It says right there, instructional video.
Marty's a gopher?
Yes. Go for good times. Get it?
Yeah.
Go for good times.
I knew that. Texter, it wasn't
Caught
perfect.
that? See how that works?
Oh,
So
yeah.
Go for.
Go for.
Or go for good times.
Yeah.
Pretty creative.
Is there a physical Marty, like a real Marty?
I don't know that. I've not seen that.
I think
there's
there is.
stuffed Martys.
Yeah.
You think there's a big
mascot,
a full-size mascot
walks
Marty?
around? Oh, I love that.
There's a little one. I could probably fill in and help them out. I have experience doing that, of course.
You were the Connecticut Husky.
For one day.
Yeah. Like one of the things I would love to do is go into a bar at about midnight on a Friday or a Saturday when everyone is really in a good vibe, wearing a gorilla suit. Be kind of fun. I think people would love that. Like
things that go on in your brain.
I mean, seriously, wouldn't you like to do that? Like you're just sitting there, like everything's chilled out, music's playing, gorilla walks in.
By the way, in case you're wondering, I know you were probably going to ask me. I did hit Saturday triple reward points again.
3 weeks in a row.
A nice winning streak going.
You'll be owning one of those Gomarts.
I made some tweaks to our lineup too, and now I've hit it perfectly on Saturdays.
Texter wasn't perfect or pretty, but that was the most complete game of the season. Took the whole team to win that one. Games like that give you hope for the future. Time to beat the Buffs. Colorado had a bad night.
Struggling. Last 2 weeks have been really a big struggle for the Buffs.
So they're at a point of they're either going to pack it or they're going to bounce up. Now, Dion wouldn't let them talk to the media. Players were not allowed to talk to the media after the ball game.
Instructed people to come after him. Not the players. So you're right. It's an interesting mindset. They could be cooked and done, or they might just say, all right, that's enough. We got one last bit of fight left in us here.
Were you watching the end?
No.
Juju Lewis hurt his hand. He was the third quarterback that they used. Unbelievably highly touted freshman quarterback. Hurt his hand. I don't know how bad it is.
Yeah, they've had a weird quarterback situation too. They've been rotating 3 different guys in there. Highly recruited, a huge transfer in Salter, and then the third stringer.
Yeah. Hey, guys, shout out to Dior Hubbard. I didn't see him being a workhorse on my bingo card, but he was tough. His TD run was a thing of beauty. Signed by Grateful in Washington State, Sean.
Yeah, congratulations to him. Nice game.
This is funny. Next one. Big Rob from Montgomery writes, did Scotty Fox dress up as Pat White for Halloween? Yeah, on that 4th and 4. He honked it up in there, didn't he?
Got a little more than 4.
Yeah. Brandon from Herndon, Virginia. Great all-around win. I think they got a little luck from this little Mothman that did some trick-or-treating last night for all big candy. We go to our photos now, and we take a look at Sparky out there. He got a little Mothman suit going. And easily identifiable with those very fluorescent shoes that he's wearing. So he dressed up as the Mothman there. Herndon, Virginia. Hello. Texter, Joe from Barbersville, great weekend in Houston. Mountaineers looked like a totally different team. Great win Friday as well. Mountaineer soccer players beat the Herd of Marshall. 3-zip, lined up, beat them. Okay, he also adds this. When you're back in town for basketball, can I suggest a dinner for you in Houston at Ishtia? ISHTIA. I've never heard of this. 18-course dinner.
What?
18-course dinner. Fantastic food. Here are some pictures. Now, hold it right there on that picture.
Truly 18? Or
Yes.
is he like exaggerating
No.
like we do?
So I looked on their
What is
web.
that?
So that's something that you would be uncomfortable with.
What is it?
It's art. So like that
You're
is
eating the art?
Yeah.
What is it? What for you? You've said 4 things about it. You haven't told me what kind of food it is. Do you know?
No,
I don't know.
I have zero idea. But what that is so that thing's almost like a dome that they make. And seriously, that's like a dome over the food, and then inside of that stuff. I mean, this is the highest level of foodie food. Can you show me another picture here? Take a look at this meat. Perfectly executed and cooked. And then look at that dessert.
Well,
now, that's one you would.
I know what that is. Like, give me some of that.
Yeah. So I looked it up. I went to their website early this morning, and so they do private seatings. That's how you order at this place. They'll do 15 to 20 courses when you sit down, and it costs you about $250 a person, and it's an indigenous cooking restaurant, and it's been named one of the top restaurants in the United States. Now, I would say this to you. I am a foodie, but like I'm a blue-collar foodie, and like the foams and the gels and like the weird stuff, like I'm not into that. Like my nephew is a big-time chef, and that's what he does a lot of the foams.
Like that stuff?
That stuff. He can do that stuff. That's what he does.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, chicken parm? Pretty blue-collar in my thing. But thank you very much. I would eat there. Of course you knew that. Texter, Jim from Clarksburg. Didn't Houston fans realize their team was ranked in 7-1? A lot of empty seats Saturday. Yeah, there was. And that opens up a whole conversation point. So to me, they're a paradox, right? They're a paradox in the sense that they have an incredible amount of available players that they can win with right in their city. It is the 4th biggest city in the United States. So they're just players all over there.
Willie Fritz has said he gets in a car to go recruiting, not a plane.
Correct. Right? So they've got that going there. Here's the problem, as you probably have figured out. The interest level has never been great. Has never been great. From the days of Andre Ware and David Klingler, and like it's never caught on. And you're absolutely right. They were 7-1. They're ranked 22 in the country. They beat Arizona State. The stadium seats like 30,000. And the upper level was completely devoid of human beings. So there's the paradox. Yes, you can get great players. I asked someone who lives there, what would it take? He said they would have to be constantly in the top 10 for people to come out.
Such a pro sports city.
Pro sports, right? Astros, and you know the whole deal, right? Astros, Rockets, Texans, everything is there. And you got a ton of Texas A&M alums that are there and from the other schools. Now, they said when TCU comes in, it'll be 50-50 TCU fan. And West Virginia had a good turnout, So that is the thing. Now, you look at West Virginia, and you say, well, how does West Virginia compete with Houston? Houston's got all these available players. So West Virginia doesn't have all of the players that they could use in their home state. But what do recruits get when they come here? They get this tremendous understanding really quick that it matters here.
Energy, support. I mean, you put 54 in there last week for a team that hadn't won a Big 12 game yet.
Correct. And this week, I would think,
should be good.
The reality of this week is this. For many Mountaineer fans, this will be the last time they come to a game this season. For a lot of them. Because the next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend and deer hunting is going to be going on. And the students are going to be gone, right? That's just the reality of it. If there's one of 2 games that they're going to go to before the season ends, there's a stronger probability they're going to go to the game against Colorado than they are the Texas Tech game. That's just what it is every single year. There's just that weekend's tough. Not that you can't get a good crowd, but I'm just saying that weekend's tough. So West Virginia can sell, hey, this matters. And you will get some kids because of that. But Houston's always going to be, I mean, think about it. Think about it. They had a Heisman winner, right? They had a Heisman winner. The same time West Virginia was running around with Major Harris. They win the Heisman. And that's always going to be difficult. Kind of like Pitt. Similar to Pitt. Like when West Virginia goes up there, it locks out. Notre Dame goes up there, it locks out. But other than that, Georgia Tech, Boston College, Clemson come in, ain't that big of a deal.
Here's the other thing, though, too, and right, that's the overarching. That's correct. That's the issue they fight. Maryland goes through that as well, right? When you're dealing with a pro sports city, it's hard. But here's the other thing, we've talked about this a bunch, Tony. The TV times in this league for some teams, man. 11 a.m. Central doesn't do you any favors. Noon's hard enough to draw people. You're at 11 a.m. We've seen Utah kick off at 10 a.m. local. We've talked about West Virginia having to kick off at 10:30 Eastern time. So there is some residual effect from the TV money that the schools are getting to setting up some non-traditional times to start your games. If Houston had to pick, where would 11 o'clock Central be on their card of lists of when we want to start a football game?
Last.
Dead last, right? That's brutal.
Sure it is.
Utah,
great for the
one of the
road team.
biggest games of this conference season. Utah hosting Texas Tech earlier this season. Kicked at 10 a.m. Utah time. Outrageous.
Sure.
Outrageous.
Because this whole thing's stupid. It's the fundamental issue is this thing is stupid and they shouldn't have done what they've done. And that's why you got these crazy games going to the West Coast and to the East Coast because the whole thing is bizarrely stupid. And all it's doing is satisfying the television inventory, and we have sold out the entire concept of regional play for college sports for one reason. So the TV networks can have money. Not even to get into the fact that ESPN's not on YouTube TV anymore, which is a whole story unto itself this weekend. I don't care. Let them eat themselves, cannibalize themselves. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All right, we've done enough damage. We appreciate you guys tuning in. So here's a program note. Because we've got the basketballers basketballing on Thursday, we are not going to do our preview show for West Virginia, Colorado on Thursday. We will do it early Friday morning so that we can bring you 2 basketball game recaps and a preview of West Virginia and Colorado. And who knows what's going to happen at Colorado this week. You know, when they get into their press conferences, it's Dion, you know, he's been a little colorful. Right? He might come out with something totally bizarre, and we'll see.
See where that team goes. You just never know.
Yeah. Will West Virginia be favored?
Yes. There's some books, DK off the board right now as we're recording DraftKings, but there are some others out there that have West Virginia as a slight favorite.
Well, how many? Couple, 3?
Yeah. As many as 5 in one spot.
That's good. Go with it. Special thanks to our producers, Braden and Jake, for coming in. We'll be back again, as I said, Friday. We will drop, so it'll be available to you before noon on a Friday. 3 guys before the game brought to us by Gomart. Get a Gomart rewards card. Do that Marty spin thing. That's a heck of a deal. Go in there and spin, win prizes. It's a good deal. Big Candy might be on sale as well since Halloween's over, right? Get some reduced deals.
I also noticed the other day when I was in there, some of those donuts, like little holiday-themed donuts are
already
out there now. Yeah.
Go to Gomart.com for details. Get the app. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, a sponsor of 3 Guys, located in St. Albans. All they do is win awards and sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. By Tudor's Biscuit World, they'll cater your next event. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Comex Business Systems, keeping West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Comex Business Systems. Jan Dill's attorneys at law, they won't take no for an answer. Visit Jan Dill's attorneys at law. Spreads on Stats, brought to us by Conley CPA Group, providing value way beyond the numbers. Conley CPA. All right, very good. We're done. And back with you on Friday. Have a good week. A lot to talk about when we return. A couple of basketball and preview Colorado. See y'all.